decided to comment for 30 days that I should make an ASMR video. Unfortunately, I do not consume ASMR content, so I don't really know what it entails, but it seems that me speaking calmly satisfied them in some way, shape, or form. As such, I take it that I'm doing somewhat of an okay job and that I can not consume too much of it and understand what they expect from me. So today I will be speaking to you, rambling on about my own interests. Why? Because they only said I had to whisper and pat. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm not a man who knows what pat means, so I had to look it up and consume one video, one ASMR video of my own. The fact is, I am using a VR headset, so if you wanted me to make a sort of sound as if I was patting the mic, it would require me to pat the headset, which I will attempt to do right now, but will not reproduce because that would be weird. So, as a replacement, I will make this video 1 hour long, and I will say sometimes pat, 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 pat while patting the camera. I hope this is a good replacement for what is lost. So, this was it. I hope it sounded like me cleaning a window. Move the camera a bit further away before I continue. Simply zoom in to give it a more relaxed atmosphere as I will begin to speak without even thinking about the words exiting my mouth. Expect me to mispronounce things and go over the same topic over and over again. I just finished drawing the thumbnail for this, and I gotta say, I find it pretty funny. I haven't even made the video yet, and I still think that it's pretty good. So, I hope you liked it, because I find it pretty funny. Another thing that I'm going to try to do during this video, as absurd as an ASMR seems to me as a concept, I understand that some people might find it relaxing, that they like to fall asleep to it, and I assume that me rambling on about my own interests will probably bring some people who dare listen to this whole thing to sleep. As such, I will try to stop myself from laughing really loud, because I cannot take myself seriously. I could laugh at my grandmother's funeral or my own mother, because I have a problem. It's a mental illness called being a weirdo. Anywho, aside from the joking and the ha's, I will get on with talking about my interests for an hour or so. I have a little timer over there that tells me exactly how much time has passed. Now I assume it's been about 4 minutes, and we haven't even gotten into it, which announces that making this an hour is way worthwhile. Well worthwhile. As such, I will begin talking about random things that I think are somewhat interesting to talk about, except it won't be a 40-second TikTok, but a 1 hour video. Today I posted a video about optimization and why I think it's good. To be honest, I thought this was one of the videos that was gonna get 1,000 views and then fall into obscurity, but it seems to have sparked some conversation, which I find to be quite amusing and interesting. Actually, I didn't think it would be the case. I thought it just wouldn't work, but it seems that it did, and I find that really interesting because there is a need for creators and things. After creators who may need to optimize what they create or teach their audience about the right things to do after buying their product. Because there's a thin line that I like to thread, but which is, let's say it, a bit hard to thread, and you may fall down the pit a few times, is there's an equilibrium between optimization and ease of modification. For example, if I were to make everything under a new model, which I'm wearing right now, I'm plugging at gumroad.koku.com, a very nice avatar. I will not talk about it anymore because this is relaxing and not an advert, and I don't find adverts relaxing. But anywho, there's a line between modification and optimization. If I were to optimize my avatar as much as possible, it is very possible that it would run on 1 or 2 materials at most, which I think would be awesome for optimization, as you would only have to load one thing. But let's be honest here. How would you navigate having to change up the color of the clothing, of the body, as well as all the effects? Every time you want to create a new effect, it would be kind of annoying, and that's why people separate those in different textures as well as materials to make ease of use. One thing that, for example, I struggled with is that I assumed people would extract the Substance Painter files out themselves and make them transparent. I quickly realized that's not the case at all. Nobody does that. And honestly, that makes sense. Only Kaku like me would. Kaku, you get it. Anyway, and as such, I saw everybody with these little this part of the eye, which was not transparent. And I thought, wow, they must have forgotten. And then I saw somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else. I realized nobody forgot. I forgot to make it easy for them. And that's why it's important to make things as easy to edit as possible. I'm sorry, whenever I get very excited, I start talking a bit fast, which can either cause you to be a bit confused or maybe me to trip on my words, so I will try to keep it slow. But I find that it's very interesting to have this conversation on optimization. A lot of users are not aware that tools exist that in one click make their avatars really optimized, and we creators need to also advertise those. And creators need to make a little effort to make things more optimized for the general public. A set of clothing shouldn't be more than 10,000 polygons, in my opinion. But then again, some models like the Rexium can't really do otherwise because they're so highly detailed. But do we need that much detail? That is for you to decide. And that is for the community to figure out as we go. But I find that deeply, deeply interesting. And I want to see where it goes. As you may imagine, I'm someone who likes to, if I were to give my philosophy on, for example, triangle count, I like to say that every triangle on my avatar is there for a reason. There's not one polygon that I haven't ached over thinking, should I actually add this? Is it really necessary? Or is it fine if it's just one less? I gotta say, sometimes I think about it. I look, for example, at the legs of my character, which are very thick, very luscious, and it is a point of, it's a thing where I want them to be this thick, and I like them to be this round. But does it really need that many edges? can't say for sure. Personally, I think I would like to keep them, but on an optimization standpoint, that's not really good. One thing I really hope is that I don't run out of space. If I do, well, this video is going to be cut short, and I really don't want to have to figure out a way to get more space. So hopefully this will not happen. I pray every day for that not to happen. Anyway, when I think about it, well, I'd like to share a little something that I would probably share whenever the time is right, but since we're here for an hour, I might as well open up about what I do. If you're coming to my channel for the first time, you might not know what I do or why I'm here. As I mentioned earlier, I do some TikToks. I had the idea of making TikToks about avatar making some time ago, and I decided that it would be quite nice to start doing them at the same time as I released an avatar base, the avatar base that I mentioned earlier. And to be honest, it was supposed to be a 1 week thing. It was supposed to be a few sketches, a few jokes, a few skits. That, for example, if you look at the first TikTok I uploaded for this, it was a scumbag dad mimicry parody that was advertising my avatar, which I thought was pretty funny to do, and I'm pretty happy about how it turned out. And it got a decent amount of attention, enough that I decided I would like to do another type of video like that after. Things went on, I made more. I made videos about avatar making, and in the first week it had gotten so many views that I thought it might be worthwhile to continue for 1 more week. And then 1 more week, and at some point, for some reason the video struck gold. I think, I don't remember which one, was something that people in general, not people who are absolutely interested in avatar making, but who are marginally involved in avatar making, could consume. And it struck gold. It had a lot of views, more views than, I think it was 30,000 or something like that on TikTok, nonetheless, which my previous experiences told me my videos didn't get a lot of views, but for some reason this stuck, and yeah. And so I thought I might as well try again, and at some point a video got 70,000. I thought, that's kind of insane. That's kind of crazy. And I'm still baffled by the fact I'm getting that many views sometimes. It's not a consistent thing, and I don't expect it to be. And I realize most of my content is not very appealing to most VRChat players or people in general. I go into the depth of avatar making, but I also do this, well, the depth, shallow depth, might I say. I try not to go too deep, because it would take more than 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That's a bit difficult, but I like to say I go where beginners don't, I suppose. It's a weird way of phrasing it, but you see what I mean. And a lot of people this doesn't appeal to, but sometimes people are really interested about a subject, or it hits more people than I think it will, and I'm really happy about that. I cannot complain. I've had people who I didn't think I would ever interact with send me messages telling me my stuff is pretty good and telling me what I offer on my store is pretty good, which, to be honest, I didn't expect either. I'm very happy about that too. I'm not trying to show off or anything like that at all. I would just like to express my sincere gratitude because I didn't think this would ever happen. Once again, this was supposed to be a 1 week thing. I would get maybe, 10, 20 sales, just like Denny did when I released it without any TikTok stuff. If it got more, I would try again. But it got way more than that. I mean, I'm not gonna divulge any numbers, but it is going really well. Better than I expected, for sure. And let's just say, I'd love this to continue this way. I don't expect it to, and to be honest, if things crumble tomorrow, it is how it is, and I accept it as is because that's just the way life goes, and I don't like putting all my eggs in the same basket. But yeah, I'm gonna try and make this go on and be good for everybody. I mean, I'm trying to offer what people want and make things as good as possible so that people are satisfied. And in turn, I'm satisfied, and it's it's a win-win, simply. I'm getting maybe a bit too excited. So I will slow down a little once again. It is a bad habit of mine to get overexcited and speak really fast. So I will try to calm down for a little bit once again. Give you a few headpats if you like. Thank you for listening to me. If you're still here, I appreciate it. Not that I understand it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I guess I will take this opportunity to talk about myself just for a little bit. I don't like to go into detail about who I am as a person too much. I don't think it's very interesting, but I feel like sharing the experience I'm going to share with you right now is quite important because it's something I feel like I could have never escaped if what happened didn't happen. So I was in college, third year of college, not too long ago actually. I was succeeding in my year. I was a very good student. Not the best, but I'd say I was a pretty good student there in uni. I did not major in anything art related at all. I was actually in literature, which you might not be able to tell, but it is how it is. I did my assignments. I had good scores on the tests. And, on the outside I might have been a little bit quirky, but I don't think anything seemed wrong to most. I was going for a job that I wouldn't say fit me, per se. And my reason for wanting to get that job and to go through 5 years of college for those was because I felt like it was an easy win. It was not something I was particularly passionate about. It's not something I really wanted per se, but it's something that would lead me to a stable life that would not make me anxious or stressed, which I thought was the best course for my life at the time, because I was in extent anxiety and stress ridden. And the fact is, I was pursuing this thing for the wrong reasons. I thought it would get me money and I could have time to spend on what actually mattered to me, which was art. Creating things to me is my bread and butter. I love doing it. I can't say I'm particularly good at it. Perhaps I don't excel as much as I'd like. Of course, I would like to be able to draw so well and make models that are so good. And for my art to be as beautiful as I see other people's to be. If that sentence made sense. But it's not. It's not yet, but I still love creating. And at the time, I thought this job would just grant me that, just a little bit of freedom, that I had to fit in a mold, essentially. That I had no choice because I had already spent 3 years of my life in college. That I had all the grades necessary. And then, at the end of the year, 1 month before the end of the year, I'm not gonna go into details, but somebody who shared this kind of attitude wronged me in a way that is unforgivable, I'd say. At least to me, it was. And as I was somewhat taken away from this person whom had the same mindset, I started thinking for a bit, and an evening I was getting back home from class. It is still very vivid in my memory. I was on the bus, standing because it was crowded, and I thought to myself, if I go on like this, I will never be happy. What is the point of going on like this if I spent 2 more years in such writhing pain, only to get a job that does not interest me at all, just because I feel like I need to earn a sense of stability, to earn freedom. In some sense, it didn't make any sense to me. Why would I go through such length? I mean, I could have become a cashier and been just as happy as getting this job. But I would have to go through the same pain, and the money didn't matter as much to me as my happiness. When I realized that, I decided that I would actually go for what I really wanted. And what I really wanted was art. It was to make things. I decided that I would try and make some money on the side with avatar making and commissions, and see if perhaps by grinding out a bit, trying to get better, learning more anatomy, which I did and I'm still doing, and creating and taking commissions and getting better through those, perhaps make this my main source of income. If it was not, I would simply get a job as a cashier or whatever, and then try and make some money on the side with that and see where it goes from there. To be honest, I'm thankful I took that decision. I really am. And to be frank with you, I don't know where I would be right now mentally if I hadn't taken that decision. I'm sorry if this was perhaps a bit of a stressful tangent, but I hope you understand that following your dreams can happen whenever. I did get my year. I did get my degree. Well, not degree, but I did get my diploma after those 3 years because I had 1 month left and I completed it duly. But then I said goodbye to this place that made me feel so wrong. If something's not making you happy or going to make you happy, what's the point in doing it? Of course, if you have no choice and you don't feel bad about it, if you feel like you're fine doing what you're doing, continue. If you feel like what you're doing is going to bring you happiness, go for it. But sometimes think about yourself. What do you want to do? What do you crave? What's your passion? It's never too late in life to change course, to learn something new. As a matter of fact, I'm, for example, learning Japanese currently. I just started, so don't ask me anything. I'm not the kind of person that boasts about language learning too much. I don't think it's right. For example, I know it's a bit dumb, but for example, whenever somebody has a language registered in their chat description bio, I assume that they speak it more than fluently at least. But a lot of people simply list the languages that they are currently learning at a beginner level. I find that quite interesting. I wouldn't do that. Though, to be honest, I don't list all the languages I speak in my bio either, so I'm excluding the one which must not be named. Sorry, I laughed, which means I must give you headpats. Thank you for listening to me rambling. It's been 30 minutes already. I hope you're finding this relaxing or interesting in some way. We're delving into my psyche here, and it's Rambly, like Rambly the raccoon. And do you know why Rambly the raccoon loves Rambly's railroad? Because he likes trains. Oh, you have to understand how much I love Rambly the raccoon. If AI doesn't lead to Rambly the raccoon at home, AI is meaningless. AI is meaningless. Pet, 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 pet. I realized I'm not patting you enough. It was part of the request. Whispering and patting. I'm doing my due diligence here. Now you may be wondering, Goku, are you really doing this for the bit? Or do you like ASMR? I'm going to reveal a little secret to you. I don't like ASMR. It's not a secret. But when I make a TikTok video and I have to scream very loud and be obnoxious, it kind of hurts my throat. And I've been sick for the past 3 days, and I'm still having to make videos where I scream. And that's why I took relief in today, going a bit sad and talking about optimization because I didn't want to hurt my throat anymore. Pat, 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 pat. You're like my therapist, except I don't have to pay you, and somehow you pay me back with the views that advertise what I make. So I think it's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal, all things considered. I'm thinking very hard. I. So, you may be wondering, Goku, you make 2D art, but you know 3D. How did that happen? I'll tell you the story of how I got into Blender and avatar making. I've been a VRChat player for about 5 to 6 years. I have about a bit more than 2,000 hours on VR. Let's just say COVID really helped with that. Maybe it's a bit more than 2,000. I'm checking right now. Because obviously we need to be accurate over here. Ooh, it made a nasty sound, okay. Sorry, I've been in VR chat for 2,700 hours, give or take. So, it's pretty cool. And I gotta be fully frank with you, and not filthy frank. I do mean fully frank. Um, I haven't always been the most optimized person. Now, what happened for me to start learning Blender is I wanted my own avatar, and I was very dissatisfied with what was offered. I was using a Rexium for time, the hyena avatar that was very popular in 2019, 2018, 2019. I was wearing that, but I didn't have a persona at the time. I've been a furry for what amounts to, I'd say, close to 7 years, and I didn't have a persona for like a good 4 or 5 of those years. And my first avatar I considered my persona was Erexio, which I'm going to show you right now because I have the opportunity and you can't stop me. Pet, 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 pet. So I will transform into the avatar. As you can see, it has a maid outfit. Perhaps it's significant to what I will release or announce soon. Perhaps not. Perhaps I've been working on a maid outfit and not telling anybody because it's super hard to optimize a maid outfit. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. Who knows? But you may see the resemblance with my current ass persona. The pink and the big ears. That is where I got my current persona from. And I was not satisfied with this when I created this little guy on paper. One day I'm gonna delve into the creation of my persona. I think it's very interesting. He was just supposed to be a character that I created an OC, and then reviewing him a month after creation, I really liked him. I thought he fit me a bit better than I first thought. And after many reiterations, he became this adorable thing that I'm absolutely delighted to be simpler. I feel a somewhat strong sense of kinship with my soda as it is supposed to be simply literally me. And some of its features are what I want to be. And I realize that it's got a few inspirations, which I think is pretty cool. has actually been very helpful uh, in achieving my goals. So back to the avatar making thing. I was very interested in making my own avatar, but I didn't know how, and I thought Blender was this impossible thing to learn. Shocker, everybody thinks that until they actually try. And then my friend, whom I'm gonna not name, a very good friend of mine, I've known him for a long time by now, I think. He's like the closest friend I never speak to in VC, but always by messages, and we are one of a kind. I gotta say, he's an amazing friend, and he sent me his first avatar. Now, granted, it was absolute trash, but I saw that he was a beginner artist in terms of 2D art, and he just got into 3D as well. And I thought, man, if he can do it, why can't I do it? And so I learned, and oh my god, I think it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. And I'm not talking about, oh my god, like, I made an avatar base, wow, wow. No, being able to make my own stuff in VR feels very cool. I could make whatever I want. I could create whatever clothing I want. As a matter of fact, I'm doing so. I can edit this however I like. Make a new version, which this is the third version of my avatar. This is how proactive I've been in learning and improving my 3D art to match my 2D, what I perceive to be my 2D style. Even perhaps make it better, because there's consistency there. But yeah, it's truly been an adventure, and I'd say if you're interested in Blender, you can absolutely do it. Please get into it. It is so fulfilling to create your own stuff, because it is not difficult. If you look through into the right things, it can be very easy. If you have a background in art, it makes it easier. If you make 2D art, sculptures, pottery, that sort of stuff, it might be easier. Of course, if you don't, it'll be a little bit harder, but it never means it's impossible. A lot of people don't do anything else than 3D and still get really good, perhaps, well, not perhaps, absolutely better than me. Perhaps better than you currently, but you could maybe match them, maybe get better. There's always a possibility to improve, and any improvement is always the best, because you can look back on your old stuff and say, oh my god, I'm not the same person I was 5 minutes ago. Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. Anyway, pat. You're not free yet. I still have you for 20 more minutes, and I'm going to take those 20 minutes to heart. I'm going to enjoy every bit of it, and think about how much time the upload will take. It is pretty late for me, and I gotta say, it's gonna be a funny little thing. It's gonna be a funny little thing. Anyway, to cut it short, if you want to learn something, you can do it. If other people have done it, you can do it too. It's something that brings me a lot of joy and gives me a lot of motivation whenever I want to learn something. When you see somebody make awesome art, the first thought you often have perhaps is, I'll never be as good. Their art is so much better than mine. What I think and like to employ, even though I get those sad thoughts as well, and it's completely normal, is if they can do it, I can do it too. It means it's not impossible to catch up, improve, and get better as a result. Learn from the best. It is always so cool. But yeah, I think I was going on a tangent earlier. Thank you you for bearing with me. Pat, 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 pat. But I forgot, so I will try and remember. I As you might have seen, I've opened a Discord server. Uh, so, obviously, I'm trying to foster a small community. Perhaps it will get bigger. Currently, it's pretty small. But I understand Discord's not for everybody, and perhaps not everybody is interested in my avatar, which is fantastic because there's so many more things to be interested in than my avatar. But there's a reason why I opened a Discord server. Maybe you know, but I've been not so firmly, but somewhat against opening a Discord server. The reason why that is because I would need to find moderators, admins as per se, and personally, I don't think that is the kind of job for me. Now, the good thing is that there are tools to help you with that. The thing that pushed me to actually open a Discord server is the fact that last week I sent 2 emails back to back because I had made awesome updates to DIDNT, to Renew, to some outfits. And sending those back to back pained me because I don't like receiving emails, and I imagine most people don't like receiving emails. And so just receiving 2 emails back to back, I imagine most people don't want that. So I thought, hey, if I just open a Discord server, people can choose if they want to get announcements. Maybe some people know me by TikTok and will get the announcement there. Maybe some people don't want to be bothered through an email for inconsequential changes, so they can get the news on Discord or TikTok. And even so, if there's a big change, obviously I'm gonna send an email. But I'd like also to negate the amount of emails I send people. Also, having polls is fantastic. Because if I were to make, for example, a shoes and pants pack like I wanted, nobody would be interested. But the idea I threw in the air like that, I'd even have a single sketch for techwear, resonated with people much more, and I would have never known because I'm not personally interested in techwear. But this brought me to learn more. I'm looking at a lot of references for techwear, trying to understand what it's all about and design something that feels techwear and embodies what techwear is, that can appeal to as many people as possible. Now, obviously, one outfit can't do it all, but I imagine some people will create their own outfit as well for the avatar, which I'd love to encourage. I'd love to promote. To be honest, somebody seemed to think that it would not be a good thing for me to promote their asset. Absolutely wrong. It is a win-win. Not only do I get more eyes on my avatar base, you get eyes on your stuff, and it gets you what you deserve. Honestly, it is a win-win, and that's why I encourage anybody who wants to create assets for this avatar, in general, go for it. I have some ground rules like not selling the avatar base, but if you want to make, for example, if you want to sell, for example, a bracelet or something, or a hat, or a new outfit, if you want to make it and sell it, absolutely go for it. It is absolutely endorsed. I'm probably going to add like a channel on Discord to share like deep Renew edits. For example, if you want to edit the Renew to have more of a whatever face, or to make the limbs slimmer. This also includes Danny, by the way. Say Renew, but Danny is also a thing. Then that you'll be able to do that, because I think it's awesome. It's great to be able to create and share. Obviously, I'm not open to people reselling the model that's like modified, but if you want to share, absolutely. If you make stuff for their new, let's share. Let's make stuff together and create something bigger than us. If that makes any sense. I'm maybe getting overexcited about this or using language that seems a bit too much. That's why I steadily again. Thank you for bearing with me. Pat, 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 pat. You deserve all the headpats in the world. Because you've been bearing with me for 15 minutes. And damn, that's an achievement. You deserve all the pats. Pat, 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 pats. I'm very aware my friends are gonna see this and mock me to oblivion. I'm very aware. And that's why the thumbnail is the way it is. Because I find it funny. And I've only laughed once, and it was just a simple giggle. So, thank you for bearing with me. Pat, pat, pat. I hope this is relaxing in some way. Or helps you fall asleep, perhaps. I don't know what you use these for. Maybe it's simply relaxing. Maybe you fall in a trance. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. It brings more eyes on it. Do I want more eyes on this? I don't know. But please do. Please do. At first I wanted this to have face tracking so you could see my face deform as I try not to laugh. And then I realized that the mic on the Quest Pro is absolutely atrocious. It's one thing I never said. I have a Quest Pro now. I found one for cheap because I needed to. Well, thing is, I didn't have a face tracking headset when I released the face tracking add-on for my avatar. And I thought it was such a shame that it's the product I couldn't test and certify it was good. Other people had to help me, which I'm so thankful for. But how could I myself sign off on it without actually trying it? And I think it was a very, very good decision. Because, because what I realized when I tried the face tracking is that it was good, but I could make it better. I could myself use my own experience as an indicator. What is good? What works? What doesn't? It would take me so much less time than asking somebody on the other side of the planet. I've mentioned my Discord. I'd like to say one thing, and I can't wait for somebody to call me out on it. I've been waiting. If you don't call me out on it, okay? This is supposed to be a little secret between you and I. Pat, 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 pat. But it's a funny little thing. With the moderator bot I'm using, you can set some bad words. The bad words I set is my nationality. Obviously, there's your average F, N word, that sort of stuff. But I added my nationality because I found it so funny. And I can't wait for somebody to try typing, for example, I'm da-da-da, and get absolutely shot out by the automod because they think the automod thinks it's a slur. I find it so funny. I really want to see that happen. And when it happens, it's gonna be so funny. Not like I've hidden where I'm from on social media, but on TikTok I've never mentioned it, and nobody knows. And I see people from my country who like my stuff because their name is very clearly my nationality. I can tell from the name. It's just like so funny. It's like going undercover. There's this one TikToker. personality who's very popular. And I know he knows of me because he's commented under one of my posts. And I don't know if he knows, but if we actually interact one day together, I would genuinely like to know if he realized or not and surprise him when I start speaking his language, well, our language. It would be so funny. I think it's a bit I really want to start doing. And I want this bit to be long. I want a week of talking to this person, orally, and him acknowledging stuff and blah blah blah. And then one day I just blurt out something in our native language and just blow their mind. I think it would be so funny. I have a lot of things like that. I'm an overthinker. Can you tell I'm an overthinker? Pat, 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 pat. You can probably tell I'm an overthinker. That's how I can come up with things to say for an hour for a dumb, silly, goofy little thing like this. We're having fun. I don't know if you noticed, I'm in Sovereign's snooze train, which I think is an awesome world. Sovereign once again shows their prowess at world making. You recognize their style, the warmth, etc. But also going for a moving train, I think is very interesting, especially the way they did it with the rotating skybox and the repeating assets that make you think you're actually moving on the side. I think it's very cool. It's a very nice world. It's very nice for public world because it's big. A lot of worlds like to be a bit small. Sovereign is not afraid of making worlds that are very big and expect a lot of people while keeping that chill atmosphere and making shared spaces that feel alive. And that's what I really like about Sovereign's stuff. Aside from the glazing, what can I say? Well, it's simple. Pat you. Pat, 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 pat. You've been so nice, so sweet listening to me ramble all this time. We only have 8 minutes left together, but I hope you've liked it because I kind of have, actually. If ASMR didn't require me to say the same thing all over again and call you certain names, then I would. But I do not mind at all head patting you like this. Pat, 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 pat. It is quite relaxing for me, and I hope it's relaxing for you. What can I talk about before this ends? I don't know. I really don't know. Am I exhausted by my engines up there? I don't think so. But I think I've run out of ideas. I remember what I wanted to say earlier. I'm so happy because I think this will also relate to a lot of people. I'm giving advice while making you feel just so relaxed. I hope. So, without further ado, let me get into my personal life once again. I was overweight for a very long time. I assume it's because of some things that happened in my life, which I will not dwell on. Once again, I don't like to dwell on my life, but more on the lessons it taught me. For a long time, I thought that my weight was dragging me down, and that I couldn't lose weight, and that it was hopeless, or that I would grow out of it. Weight is not something you often being overweight is not something you often grow out of. More so, you learn to take on to new habits. What personally helped me was my partner's encouragement. So, a lot of people, when they want to lose weight, get into running, or they start lifting, or they start working out, which I think is very good. I myself work out a lot every day. most of every day, I think. Usually it's 1 day off. It's summer, so it's 2 days off because I can't run. But yeah, working out is cool, but it will not get you to lose weight. Trust me. I ran a lot, and it didn't make me lose weight because your body will take into account the calories you've burned and make you eat more in return. To simplify things, you will be more hungry because you burned more calories than usual. The only way I know of losing weight is to eat less. Now, if you're in a state of being extremely overweight, you need to take measures to not eat too little, but you do need to eat less in general. Things that can help are, for example, calorie counters. Um, I have had, this is not sponsored, obviously, who would sponsor me, but the application Yazio was very useful. I was able to count the calories of everything I ate and apply to a threshold. I'll be honest, the first 2-3 weeks are pretty painful. I looked at my small bowl of rice. I like rice. It's not, Yazio didn't tell me to eat that. You eat whatever you want as long as you stay within the calorie thing. It's fine. I looked at my miserable bowl of rice, which was like 2 or 3 times less than I would usually eat in the evening, and think to myself, I'm done for. I'm not succeeding, but I pushed on. You gotta push on sometimes. And I did, and oh my god, I've lost 10 kilograms. Yes, you count in kilograms, so we did all of that in kilograms. I lost 10 kilograms thanks to this, and I've never felt better. I mean, I'm exactly the weight I wanted, even a bit less, which is better for me because now I'm not considered overweight anymore. I'm under the threshold, and I'm feeling so much better. If you don't feel right in your body, and this is not a psychological issue of thinking you're too big when you're not. If there's actual reasons as to why you should lose or gain weight, please do. It is important to be healthy. Your body will say thanks, and you will feel better every day because you're actually eating what you need, and your body actually doesn't struggle as much for daily tasks. But yeah, so I think this concludes our little session for today. I'm saying for today as if I'm going to do it again. I suppose I could do it again if it became popular, if people were interested, but frankly, I don't think anybody will care about this. If this gets 10 views, it is already pretty impressive, considering it's a 1 hour. Either way, give you some pat pats. Pat, 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 pat. And thank you so much for listening to me today. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Oh wait, no, I still have 30 seconds to go. Okay, I will headpats you till then. Pat, 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 pat. You've been so kind listening to me. So kind. So sweet. Pat, 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 pat. You deserve all the headpats. This is not a bit anymore. I'm kind of liking this. Okay, well, pat,